Thank you very much, Lord Zoom, and good evening, everybody, again. A wise man once said that succession planning in Toastmasters starts on the 1st of July. And that means the 1st of July of the year that we're in, not 1st of July of the year that we're going into. It's also a subject that I'm really passionate about because we rent the roles that we do and the jobs that we do as well in the real world. We only hold them for a certain period of time. We rent those too. This pin will be somebody else's this time next year, or rather in 7 months' time. Same with this badge. I get to keep it for a little while, do the best I can in this given role, but it's about building on what's happened before and setting the stall for the future. Today's presenter is, as John said, our immediate past district director. He is now officially appointed as the district leadership committee chair for this year. And in District 91, we like to start things early. So to talk about leadership opportunities for next year, the 2022-2023 programme year, but also district leadership opportunities in general, Arnaud Sartre.
Thank you very much, Rupa. Thank you very much, John, and welcome to all of you joining us this evening. I'm going to, first of all, share some slides with you, and I will try to make it not too much of a monologue for a period of time, but I would also like to have plenty of opportunity at the end of the presentation to hear your questions and have these, what I think would be the most important and perhaps most enlightening Q&A session on part of the presentation that you would like more information on, or more importantly, or perhaps differently, if you have specific questions on any of the roles or would like to simply give me a good table topic question, I'm always up for it. So let me share my screen to start with, and hopefully I will get a few thumbs up to confirm that you can all see it. Brilliant. So what I'm going to do this evening is probably for 20 or so minutes is give you some broad high-level information around the leadership opportunities that exist in a district. I will also give you my take on many of those. And also very importantly, I will give you some additional information around timing and what to expect over the coming few months. So first of all, let's start with the basics. We are District 91. So District 91 is this part of the United Kingdom that you see on the screen right now. So it, broadly speaking, encompasses southern Wales, southern England, including London, all the way to Kent. So from a geographical area, we are not necessarily the biggest district in the world, but we're not necessarily the smallest district in the world in geographical distance, at least. To give you a different perspective, the largest district in the world is now District 108, that spans from the Baltic all the way to pretty much Japan, because it encompasses the whole of Russia. Some of the smallest districts in the world will be found around large United States cities like New York, where we have District 46 and 109 that pretty much reside in Manhattan. Or we have other places like Qatar, who are relatively small countries that form an entire district. So to give you an idea of scale, first of all, because when we talk leadership, we also talk about the people and the geographies that we are serving. So here in District 91, we are serving this geography. And if you want to go super geeky, I can even share with you the exact detail of which A road, M road, and B road this boundary follows. But I'm sure many of you would probably not be that interested. But if you are interested, let me know at the end and I will share that information with you. I know many of you on this call are or have been district leaders. I would like to start by reminding all of you of this beautiful map of service to members. This happens to be page 3, I believe, on the District Leadership Manual. So don't worry if you can't read it, that's absolutely fine. It's actually designed for you to go and look at the district leadership manual to find out a little bit more information. But this is how the organization works. It all starts with the members. Members form clubs. Clubs form areas. Areas form divisions. Divisions form districts. Districts form regions. And regions have international directors supporting them together with region advisors. And all of this is all wrapped up with services that are provided by World Headquarters staff in Denver, Colorado, United States. And the reason I bring this up is so that it gives you an idea of the depth of this organization. So when everybody joined as a member, and certainly this was my case, and I know it is also the case for many, if not all of our members, we don't necessarily realize the depth of the organization when we join. We know we are members, we know we are part of a club. If we are lucky, very soon we realize that we're also part of an area. But when it comes beyond division, district, region, and so on, it is very difficult, if not impossible, for a new member to truly appreciate all of these layers. But fundamentally, the reason I bring this up here is to give you also an idea of all of the various committees that exist. If you are here this evening, I am sure that you have all been a member and a club executive committee, therefore you know the club executive committee. If you have been a president, a vice president education, or a vice president membership, you will also absolutely know what an area council is, which is the first council that runs an area, organizing contests, organizing training, and supporting one another across an area, whether it's a small or a large area, number of clubs or geography. Division council, if you're a division director, and I believe we have one division this evening, and past division directors, including myself, we have division council, also working very similarly to a club executive committee, but at a division level, similar to an area council, but at a division level. And if we go one step up at the district, we also have the district council, which if you have been a president or a vice president education, you will know is the committee that supports the district and makes the fundamental decisions that affect the district. But all of those are also wrapped up in the district executive committee that is made up of the district director, the program quality director, the club growth director, the public relations manager, the finance manager, the immediate past district director, the administration manager, all division directors, and all area directors. So this group is meeting 4 times a year on a number of different topics, and there will be, I'll share with you a couple of information towards the end of this presentation. But I wanted to share this map with you so that you understand, if not already, the depth of the organization, but the multiple layers that already exist in this organization, so that you can easily, or at least start to easily understand the different levels of leadership opportunities that exist within our district. Now, this is also, and I have absolutely no problem in saying this is a copy-paste straight from the district leadership manual, because, and you will hear me say this a lot, the district leadership manual contains a wealth of information, and I will try to distill that as best as I can this evening for you. So the district director is, and I don't like to say it in those terms, but the person that calls the shot, the person that drives the direction of the district, of course, informed by the supporting district leadership team, the district executive committee, but the district director is the person responsible for the district and the person that World Headquarters looks to get information, but also run the district in an effective and appropriate manner according to our Toastmasters international governing documents and district bylaws. But the reason I bring this up is not so much to tell you about the district director in that level of detail, but it's also to give you that depth in a slightly different way of all of the roles that exist. So an area director works with a division director. The division directors and area directors, as I mentioned just a moment ago, work within the district executive committee that is formed together with the public relations manager, the finance manager, the administration manager, the club growth director, the program quality director, the district director. Now I'm going to take a breath, get a glass of water, and look at the room and see if anybody is lost yet. I can see some smiles, but I'm not seeing any nods saying we are lost. So that's good. But I wanted to give you this perspective because I think it is an important perspective to have in order to understand what we're getting into. And this is the basic information around the different layers of leadership roles that exist within the organization. Now, as the process goes, and as Rupa beautifully mentioned at the very beginning, succession planning starts on the 1st of July. Over the past several years, I've said that probably every year ever since I've been division director, if I remember correctly. And this is something that I actually believe very, very fondly, that this, the succession is something that we all need to look at in a lot of detail. For ourselves, what we would be interested in doing in the next program year, but also for our members within our clubs, within our areas, our divisions, and beyond our district. What potential roles exist amongst our district leadership teams? So what I'm going to do over the next few minutes is essentially give you a very brief overview, and I'm not going to read all of this in details that will bore you to death, but those links, by the way, will be available at the end of this session if you're interested. And I'm going to go through every single one of the roles and give you an opportunity to ask questions also at the end for each of the role, but also to give you perhaps a different perspective, and at least my perspective on what each of those roles are here for. So those 2 pages in font 1, probably on your screen, are there for your information. And this is information that all candidates will be provided when time comes later this year, certainly before Christmas. And it's available on toastmasters.org website if you're interested to get that information right away. So first of all, let me talk a little bit about the area director role. It's providing district contact, support, and assistance to the club. The area director is very much the first point of contact between the district leadership and the clubs and the members. And in many ways, this is probably one of the most exciting roles of all, simply because you have that sort of duality of the role. You are all in with the clubs, understanding what's happening, making sure that you have great area content, great training, ensuring that you're putting forward your members in order to participate in contests, in order to help on your committees. And this is a fantastic role. And at the same time, it is also the first elected role that exists within our organization, elected by the area council, but I'll get back to that in a moment. And as an area director, you're also forming part of the division council, supporting your division director. And if I can actually say it in those terms, one way to look at an area is that you are starting to lead a group of leaders. You are coming from almost in sort of corporate terms, an individual contributor type of role to a leader of leaders, because suddenly you are here to lead a group of club leaders that are in themselves leading their clubs. And again, to give you an idea of scale, clubs, we like to have clubs with 20 or more members, which means that an area will have on average between 80 and 120 members. And if we go up, division will have around 500 to 800 members. And as we go to the district, we have anything between 4,000 and 5,000 members. So that's also to give you an idea of scale that sometimes is not necessarily lost in translation, but something that we don't necessarily talk about, but I do like to talk about it because it is fascinating to think about those leadership opportunities also in the context of the scale that we have to deal with. So in a nutshell, the area director is all about that first link between the clubs, the members, and the district leadership. And as a member of the district executive committee, you're also invited on a number of occasions throughout the year to help the district shape the program, shape the way the district does what it does. And this is an exciting role. I remember many years ago now, 5 years ago, it must be, when I was elected as area director. It was one of those fascinating roles because it's the first step into the unknown. It is the first step into getting to know your neighboring clubs on a much deeper level. And I'm sure many of you, considering an area director role, will already have those relationships with club leaders in clubs nearby. But becoming the area director really gives you that extra layer of depth in the role. And also, very importantly, it is also a brilliant opportunity for you to start looking at building an area council in order to run the area as best as possible. But too much detail for the time being. Now, let's move on to the division director. So the division director is there to achieve the mission of the district within the division. And as all of you, I'm sure, know, and if you don't know, you will certainly know very soon as candidates, that the district mission is to build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. This is not to be confused with our district vision of 180-100. And the two go very much hand in hand and support one another in beautiful ways. But the district mission is all about building new clubs and supporting all clubs in achieving excellence. And as a district, this is what we do, this is what we have done, and this is what we will continue to do into the future. As a division, you are also called upon by the district leadership team to support the district direction. And certainly this is one step up from the area director role. And once again, the scale of the events that falling under the division director role are certainly in a different range once again. But again, this is an exciting role. I remember being division director. Some of the exciting activities, getting to know clubs that, if you are outside of London and even in London, if you start looking at clubs beyond your area, it is very unlikely, and there are many exceptions, of course, but it's unlikely that as an incoming division director, you will already have direct contact or certainly good relationships with all of the clubs. You may have one or two good relationships with a number of clubs within the division, but it's unlikely to be with all of the divisions. So this role is a brilliant opportunity to deepen your network, to deepen the activities that you are getting involved with, and certainly start to see also how the district leadership team works and how that fits in with the district mission, the district vision, and how the future of the district is defined. Now let's move on to other roles that exist. And now we are getting into the district leadership team roles. So the administration manager is here to help the district function effectively and achieve its mission by recording and maintaining accurate minutes. Now, the administration manager is by no means a personal assistant. It is completely different. Yes, taking minutes is certainly an important activity, but the administration manager is very much there to support all members of the district leadership team in achieving their mission, making sure that the timelines are certainly organized, making sure that we have a good calendar. And I'm sure many of you will have seen the district calendar on our district website, and really ensuring that everything is a very well-oiled machine. And to me, this is what the administration manager really does. And without it, it is absolutely impossible to run a district. The finance manager, well, money speaks for itself. Without money, we cannot do much. Without money, we do not have any incentive. Without money, we are not able to run training. And without money, we're not able to support effectively our mission to build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. And again, finance manager, this is by no means reserved for chartered accountants. We have certainly had a number of finance managers over the years that were not necessarily from a pure finance background, but I will say it does help a lot. Ultimately, the role is to work once again with all of the district leadership team, division directors and area directors, in order to build the district budget early on into the program year, if not before even the program year truly starts on the 1st of July. But also, and very importantly, and something that doesn't necessarily get recognized that much, but also work with the World Headquarters Finance team in order to make sure that not only the budget and the timelines related to financial matters are met, but also have that deeper understanding of how an organization like Toastmasters International, which is a US organization, runs and works, and how our district, amongst all of the others, can work with World Headquarters in order to maintain and support the mission of Toastmasters International, but also maintain the responsibility that we have as a non-profit organization from a United States perspective. So always absolutely fascinating roles. Public Relations Manager is, in fact, the number 4 role in the district. Seldom mentioned in those terms, but should the district trio all crash on a plane, unlikely, but you never know, the Public Relations Manager will be the person to take the torch and run and make sure that the district continues to operate. And I'm sure you will have seen over the past several weeks and months the amazing work that our Public Relations Manager has done, Olga, in terms of publicizing newsletters, leaders update, making sure our website is up to date, but also prodding clubs, prodding everybody in the district that could actually support the creation of a newsletter, for instance, and engaging also with public relations agencies so that the word of our district and Toastmasters International goes beyond the walls of our district alone. So it's a beautiful role. And again, not reserved to anybody necessarily that has a public relations background. Again, it helps. But if you have a keen eye to learn, an eye for detail, but also just want to be involved in that space, it's a brilliant opportunity once again. And now we're moving on to the trio role, the Club Growth Director, district role number 3. So the Club Growth Director is part of what we call the trio. And this role is all about growth and marketing. And this is really the role that is, and I'm going to use this term, it's not exactly true in those terms, but it's a good way to look at this. As a district, we have a number of different goals, and the Club Growth Director is directly looking at making sure that our membership and our club growth, part of the mission, is working well within the district. And this is very much a marketing role. This is a role where there's a lot of interactions, and I'm sure I can see many of you already members of our district executive committee on this call. I'm sure you will have already had, I'm sure, many calls, if not emails, if not direct knock on the door, perhaps maybe not, from Diane, making sure that you have the information necessary to support that district mission within your area, within your division. But again, this is an exciting role because as a trio member, you certainly have even more depth, once again, than all of the other roles. But also as a growth director, this is where you start building those relationships with our corporate sponsors, perhaps sometimes with other organizations that may be able to host a Toastmasters club, or even existing clubs, as I believe Diane has visited some really exciting clubs in the past few weeks and had some brilliant feedback that I'm sure will come out in future newsletter or communications. So this is about growth, this is about membership, and this is about really the future of the district. The Program Quality Director, and I've coined not so long ago, and I'm probably not the first one to do that, it's a little bit like the Chief Operating Officer of a company. It's making sure this is the person that really make sure that the quality is there, make sure that the product is out of the door on time, make sure we have contests, make sure we have training, make sure that everything runs, what's the expression in English? Tickety-boo, I believe, is a word or an expression that is sometimes used. But beyond this, the Program Quality Director role is something of a unique role, just like all of the others, but very much, and especially this one, because this is the role that also prepares you for the next role as district director. This is the role that you start having the complete depth and complete understanding of the district from an area, from a division perspective, from a district leadership team perspective, and start looking at beyond the walls of the district alone in order to provide the best possible training experience for the members. And I'm sure if you're an area or a division director, you'd have already seen Rupert this year reach out well beyond our district in order to bring those quality presenters, facilitators and workshop speakers in order to provide that depth of learning so useful and so important to all of our members. Again, it's a brilliant role. And now the district director role. Well, in the world of Toastmaster, as the district's chief executive officer, direct the district in a way which fosters strong clubs, produces maximum growth in education, completion, club and membership, and be consistent with the interest of members of Toastmasters International. The bottom line is the district director is the guardian of the district mission, is the guardian of the Toastmasters International mission within the confine of District 91. And as I'm sure you've heard Helena this year say many times over, leading with kindness is one of the arch pillars this year beyond the district mission and vision, but certainly something very, very important and a very laudable role in so many respects. And once again, a role that opens the door to truly and tremendous opportunities for networking and growth opportunities pretty much every day of the week. So that's in a nutshell, in a flying maybe 10 or so minutes, what each of the district roles are all about. Now, let me talk a little bit about other committee opportunities, and I'm going to help you catching your breath a little bit by also myself having a glass of water. Leadership beyond the club, beyond the area, beyond the division, beyond the district, also includes all of the other committee opportunities. And I've put in here a selection of committees that we either have within our district or could have within our district. A program quality committee, working with our program quality director, a club growth committee, a public relations committee, a youth leadership program committee, a speechcraft committee, administrative policies committee, an awards committee, a speakers bureau committee, a newsletter committee, a hybrid meeting committee. All of those committees don't always exist every year in every district, but the district leaders across the globe and in District 91 in particular are very much within their rights to set up those committees and seek out those leadership roles in order to staff those particular committees, whether it's a committee chair or a committee member, but all very important for the good running of our District 91. And just to give you some examples, we had at our recent September District Executive Committee, our Education Committee reporting back. We also have a very active hybrid committee. And I know we have many other subcommittees working on a number of different activities across the district. Now, why am I saying you all of this? And it's all down to what I'm going to share with you in that final slide here. It's all about the opportunity to learn and develop new skills. Being a district leader gives you the opportunity to facilitate question and answer session. If you like table topics, being a district leader is a fantastic role. You will become excellent at table topic if you're not already. Question and answer, one of my favorites. Leading projects. Whether you are an area director or a district director, there will be projects throughout the year. Projects like organizing training for your area clubs, organizing a conference if you are a program quality director, organizing district councils if you are a district director or an administration manager, organizing a division conference if you are a division director. So all of these are brilliant project activities that you will get to do as a district leader. Now, and I must absolutely say this all the time, and I'm probably getting I probably have the scars of it. Managing difficult audiences is something that you also learn, because guess what? We are all humans. And as I've said many times within Toastmasters and outside of Toastmasters, there will always be difficult audiences. The moment you have more than one person in a room, and sometimes you can even argue with yourself, every time you have more than one person in a room, there will be a difficult audience situation. Of course, not all the time, but it will happen. And I don't want to, embellish everything. Those things do happen, but it's a great opportunity to learn. And there is, once again, no better place than Toastmasters International to do that. But what else are we doing? What else are we learning? Strategic relationship. As I mentioned just a moment ago, corporate sponsors. We have a vast number of corporate clubs in our district, spanning so many different industries, from pharma to banking to insurance to engineering. We have pretty much the whole works within and outside of London. But we also have relationships with Rotary International, and I know some of you in the audience may also be members of Rotary International. So cultivating those relationships is one thing that can very well be part of a district leadership role. Inspiring future generation. And I love this one. Being a father myself, my children are a little bit young, but the sooner they can participate in a youth leadership program, I will find a way to make sure this happens in the schools that I'm involved with. But beyond the future generation with the youth and the youth leadership programs, beyond all of this, it's about building the future generation of leaders. The moment you step in a leadership position, you are a leader. And as a leader, one, and if not the most important part of your role, is to nurture and facilitate and grow and look for those future leaders. Whether you're an area director looking for who might be the next area director, whether you're a district director looking for who might be able to take on this special project that's just come up. Every role has this unique opportunity to find those leadership opportunities for our members. And once again, this is a unique opportunity. And just out of interest, raise your hand if you have a leadership role within or outside of Toastmasters at the moment. All right, so that's pretty much everyone. That's brilliant. So we're all leaders, so we all know what that means, building the future. Networking. Well, I've mentioned this a few times already throughout the various roles. Networking. Well, this is, and I always remember, I always forget. Network, your network is your net worth. Somebody coined that phrase before. I cannot attribute it to somebody because I don't know who that is, but I'm sure somebody knows. But it is very true. The network opportunity that exists within Toastmasters, within the leadership role, is second to none. Whether you are an area director, whether you're a district director, you will have opportunities to interact with some of our corporate sponsors, some of our external parties, with fellow members, and discover some new and really exciting roles, jobs, people that you've just never knew was even possible or even existed before you had those conversations and entered into those roles. So for that alone, I would probably argue this is one of the best networking options that we have at our disposal. Leading committees. Once again, who has never dreamt of leading a committee? Come on, don't be shy. Who's never dreamt of leading a committee? I'm sure we all want to do that. Leading committees, well, as area directors all the way to district director, there will be committees. There will be an area committee, there will be a district committee to lead. And those are unique opportunities to learn how to effectively make sure those committees work and actually deliver on their expectations. Recognition is an important one for ourselves, but also for others. Getting the recognition that we have been elected or appointed in one of those leadership positions in and of itself is a recognition of the value that we have provided to date, but also the future value that others place on us for the benefit of all of our members. So this is tremendously important. The recognition of others. As a district leader, you also have unique opportunities to reward your members, whether it's rewarding a club member within an area that has done a tremendous job organizing a special event for a club, whether you're rewarding the Toastmaster of the Year. It doesn't really matter which award is presented. What really matters is that it really gives you that opportunity to provide that recognition, to provide that unique perspective that you as an individual, you as a district leader has seen something in somebody else. And this is a quote that I get from one of our past champions from 2014, I believe, Dhananjaya Tarachi. I see something in you. I would change the ending, and I know what it is. And you know what it is. And I know that you know what it is. So absolutely tremendous opportunity here to use the recognition as a mechanism for ourselves, but also to help others in achieving greatness. And there's so much more. Now, in a nutshell, all of this, and I'm sure Rupa will be very pleased to see me put that into this slide, all of these opportunities, all of these district leader roles give you a huge amount of opportunity to conduct projects as part of Pathways. It gives you a unique perspective on many of the roles, but very importantly, all of these district leadership roles are truly and very well aligned with many, if not all, the Pathways projects. And that is something that I want you all to remember, because too many times we forget, we get busy and we forget to get the credit that we deserve for performing some of these roles, some of these activities, running the sessions. And that is, in a nutshell, what I wanted to share with you this evening. Now, what I need to give you now is a bit of a timetable. So first of all, applications for role will open on the 4th of December, probably late in the day on the 4th of December, and run through to the 31st of January. There will be an application portal on our District 91 website, and we will be seeking candidates for all positions that are elected by the District Council, and that is the District Director, Program Quality Director, Club Growth Director, and Division Director. And we'll also be seeking expression of interest for all other roles, including area directors. During February and March, we will conduct interviews for District Director, Program Quality Director, Club Growth Director, and Division Directors. On the 26th of March, the DLC will put forward the nomination report to the District Director, which will then be published very soon after this date. And as I'm sure you all know, our District Council meeting will occur on the 7th of May 2022 at a place and a time yet to be defined. And I promised you earlier I would give you a tiny little bit more information about area director and election. So area directors are elected by the area council. And just for information, I put on the side what the area council is. There will be formal and further information coming out your way from the 4th of December, probably the week after the 4th of December, either through newsletters or direct email communication to area and division directors, and most likely club members as well, where we will be explaining in a bit more detail the process for running area director elections, but also the date by which the area director election must occur in all of our 37 areas. So I just wanted to place this here to plant that seed that area director elections will be conducted by the area council, as has always been the case for many years in our district, and not the district council. And with that, I would now like to close my monologue, stop sharing my slides, and welcome any questions that you might have, if you have any questions.
Thank you, Arnaud.